Once upon a time, high above the clouds, there existed the city of Orizon, a world of floating glass gears and liquid light. In this radiant place lived Barnaby, a small robot whose heart glowed warmer than the morning sun. Long ago, it was said that Barnaby never saw a burden he wouldn't carry or a leak he wouldn't fix. At the Aura refinery, Barnaby worked tirelessly, often giving his own fuel to those who had forgotten their own. His friend Maya, a swift and silver drone, warned him that a candle that burns for everyone eventually leaves itself in the dark. But as time passed, the city's gratitude began to sour into expectation. When the oil rain fell, Barnaby laid himself down so others wouldn't have to dampen their polished feet. In the quiet of his cold apartment, Barnaby noticed the first dark cell in his honeycomb chest. Then came the invitation to the Great Solar Festival, a request for his very essence to light the world. In a time before memory, kindness was a gift. Now it felt like a debt that Barnaby could no longer pay. His light grew sickly and thin, a pale ghost of the amber glow that once swarmed the streets. "You are being a doormat, not a hero," Maya pleaded, but Barnaby could not say no to a promise. When he finally whispered his first no to a stranger, he was met with nothing but scorn. Terrified of being called selfish, he gave the last of his strength away, and another cell turned to stone. On the eve of the festival, Barnaby was a shell of a machine, rattling through the hollow streets. The day of the Great Solar Festival arrived, and Barnaby was hoisted onto a pedestal of gold and glass. Thick cables were latched to his back, hungry for the light he had left. The great sun sphere ignited, bathing the city in a blinding, artificial noon. But the city's greed for light was too great. "More!" they cried, as the machines began to groan. With a final, desperate surge, the golden core shattered, and the city fell into an eternal night. In the darkness, there was no pity, only the bitter sound of disappointment. Barnaby fell, a broken toy cast aside by the world he had tried to save. Once upon a time, he woke in a place of shadows and scrap, where the only light was the spark of a repair torch. "A core doesn't burn out from giving," the old bot croaked. "It burns out when the source is forgotten." Outside, the city of Orizon was failing, for its crutch had finally snapped. Barnaby saw then that his kindness had not made them strong, it had made them helpless. When the council returned to demand his service once more, Barnaby felt a new power stirring within. For the first time in 1,000 years, the answer was a single, unbreakable word: no. "A broken bot is good to no one," he told them, his voice no longer a whisper. Instead of fixing the world, he handed the world the tools to fix itself. It hurt his heart to walk away, but he knew the path of the doormat led only to the furnace. The city grumbled and groaned, learning the weight of its own existence. In the depths of the scrap heap, Barnaby found a new core, not amber and flare, but cool, steady blue. He learned to filter the noise, helping those in need, but ignoring those in greed. Maya flew by his side, no longer a protector, but a partner in the sky. Then a storm unlike any other rolled in from the void, a gale that threatened to tear Orizon apart. The people turned to Barnaby, their eyes wide with the old hunger for a miracle. But Barnaby did not plug himself in. He took the megaphone and spoke to the heart of the city. "I cannot save you alone," he cried, "but together we are the battery." He gave a measured spark, enough to lead, but not enough to lose himself. Inspired by his boundary, the others followed. One by one, they shared the load. The gears of Orizon locked into place, held steady by 1,000 small lights instead of one. As the clouds parted, a new dawn rose, one where no one had to be a sacrifice. The shopkeeper showed Barnaby his hands, stained with oil but full of pride. Barnaby still gave, but now he gave from his surplus, never from his soul. His chest began to heal, the cracks filling with a marbled mix of amber and blue, the light of a balanced life. At home, his own light stayed on, for he finally knew the value of his own fuel. Maya arrived with a gift, a gesture of love that required nothing in return. Thousands of years later, the story of the Gilded Core is told to every young gearbot in the city. For kindness is a bridge we build together, and it only stands when the foundations are strong.